And welcome back, everyone, to the Matinee Review, where two friends talk everything entertainment, such as movies, animated features, television shows, video games, cartoons, and comic books. I am Justin.
I am Akili.
How goes it, sir?
It goes pretty well. I recently just dodged a little medical bullet. I've been having some problems with my feet recently. I went to the doctor, and he was like, "Oh, well, you have you have a bunion situation going on." I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "I would probably recommend a little surgery." And I was like, "Oh,
Dear Lord.
oh, okay." And then I went to the foot doctor, and the foot doctor was like, "What are you about to turn 38? How about I just give you these arch supports, and you see how this goes first, because surgery should be last option." And I was like, "Okay." And I tell you what, yay, arch supports. I've been walking a little better than I have for first time in probably years. So,
Hey now.
because apparently I've had incredibly flat feet this whole time.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I thought it was due to like maybe I gained a little weight, or maybe I thought something was going on. And he's like, "No, just your feet need support." And it's been a little life saving. So yay, arch supports, and I didn't have to have surgery, so that's good.
Dig it.
Yeah, that's the biggest news. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So how are you?
I am good.
Yeah.
Had a little foot pain last night.
Ah.
Funny you say. Other than that, I'm fine. We'll see what happens. I might go to the Good Feet store.
Hey, Good Feet store. Plug.
Hey. So yeah, I'm good. Glad you don't have to have surgery.
Man, me too.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like when I get into my 50s or 60s, I still might have to do it. But then by that time, it's like, I think most of my jogging days and all that'll be done. So it's like, yeah, we'll just
You don't know that.
do the thing. That's true.
Might keep jogging,
That's true.
you know.
Medicine is getting better. Who knows, man?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Man. So yeah. Well, happy Black History Month, sir.
It is Black History Month. I've also seen online, we've mentioned her name on the show before, Shanaka Hodge. She, as far as I can tell, is the first person because I haven't heard this till I kind of went on social media and saw her use it. Black Future Month instead of Black History Month. And it's kind of like this attitude of not necessarily looking back, but looking forward, see what's coming out of the community. And I was like, that's cool. So yeah,
Dig it.
Black History Month, hey, or Black Future Month, hey.
Yeah, she's definitely one for riding Ironheart at this point.
Man, she's done so much. Like even since the last time we kind of mentioned her, and but she's a hitter, man. I really hope I can kind of track her down, and pretty sure she's been on a bunch of podcasts. But I'm hoping to just be like, hey, you want to do one more? Yeah, so we'll see.
Hey, I mean, you knew her, so
Yeah,
might as well give it a shot.
yeah. That's all. All I can do is try.
Yep.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So we're gonna take a shot.
That just smacked me across the face just now.
Get some
Right,
Hamilton
said it, I was
going.
just like, wow.
I'm not giving away my shot because I'm not giving away my shot. Just like the country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not giving away my shot. Or throwing away my shot. Sorry. Anyway.
That was your version. Don't have to be sorry.
All right.
Just did your version of it. That's all. Yeah. So, not much for the news, really. I mean, there's stuff going on.
Yeah, well, and it was recently, we just had a cool date, 2/2/22.
We did just recently have that. Yeah.
Which we won't get a 3/3/33 will be.
No, but this month we do have coming up 2/22/2022.
There's going to be 2/22/22. Yeah, so it's going to be
Got a lot of twos coming up.
Yeah, a lot of twos coming up.
And we can also
Twos
be
coming up.
waiting for 2/22 and 22 seconds on 2/22/2022.
Man, I think the world might stop for a bit.
Gonna be okay.
That will be just fine.
Gonna be all right. We'll be gone. The world will be fine.
Which means we did just have a Groundhog Day.
We did.
Hey, y'all, do yourselves a favor. If you've never seen Groundhog Day, man,
Yeah.
all these movies that like, oh, hey, somebody dies, the day gets reset, and they have to figure some shit out. To me, all that comes back to Groundhog Day. They took
100%.
Groundhog Day and then just spun it. Now, somebody probably did it before Groundhog Day, but since I'm an 80s baby, that's where Groundhog Day is my set point for all these other things that do that. So
I can't think of any movies before Groundhog Day that did that. So
yeah, we'd have to ask the internet, but the internet's not here right now. So because it's you and I, we'll say Groundhog Day. Boom.
we win.
Yeah, just like time travel, any time travel movies. Sure, there's been time travel movies before Back to the Future, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, like The Time Machine.
But since I'm an 80s baby, that's where I set the barometer for time travel rules and all that. Like, I'm the person who's like, nope, travel back in time, can't run into yourself, all the shit, all Back to the Future rules. So,
Well, yeah. I go with, old school movies of Time Machine, and then a movie even based off of Time Machine, Time After Time.
time after time. Time after time. Yeah.
Yeah. And, then you go Somewhere in Time, and there's a lot of time travel movies.
There is a lot of time travel.
There's a lot of time travel.
There was the Time Machine with Guy Pearce. That was playing I forget where I was. I think it was in like the last time I went to like a fucking, I forget. I was in a store or something and it was just randomly playing. I was like, Time Machine? Guy Pearce Time Machine? I haven't seen this in a minute.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it since it probably came out on DVD.
It's an interesting film.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
I think the coolest part in that movie was him going to the future and then seeing like the moon broken and like all close to the earth and everything. I was like, oh, that's fucked up. It's cool looking, but that's fucked up. I did use curse words. Sorry, Ma.
No. He did it.
I try not to. It just happens.
He did it.
It's like the word the. It's a comma for me. I try not to. I'll work on it.
There you go.
I will. I will say, but I'm not going to go into too much. We did just have Groundhog Day, but we also just had the new episode of the book of Mandalorian, Boba Fett's Book of Mandalorian.
That's the new Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
The new Star Wars thing that has the chapters with the dude who wears the helmet and the armor. Yeah.
Right.
Right. That one.
Oh, God. For anyone who's seen it and knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So cool.
Yeah.
And I won't say anything because you have not watched it.
Nope. I have not done my due diligence for the show.
Yep.
But I will say at this point, as of right now we're talking, I've watched episode 2. So I have 2 chapters in.
All right.
And I will say, man, I'm kind of liking Book of Boba Fett more than I thought I would, number 1. Number 2, a little more than Mandalorian.
Really?
From the beginning, yeah.
Really?
Because I know you mentioned like it kind of picks up after I think these first 2 episodes were great. I think the whole, since you have seen it, I think the whole attack on the train, that whole thing, that was fantastic.
Was that only episode 2?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I thought that was like episode 3 or 4.
Nah, that's episode 2 because it's weird because episode 1 is like 30 minutes long, then episode 2 is like 50 minutes long. So it's
right. Okay, so that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel 50 minutes long. Like I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. Because even when I saw the episode listing, it was like 30 minutes, 50 minutes, like second episode, 50 minutes. I'm like, all right, that's where you're going to lose me. You're going to do something long-winded and all this. It's like, no, that shit flows pretty well.
No, it's a good show. It's
a good show.
It's Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau just bringing life, giving Star Wars CPR and bringing life back to it.
There you go.
Because,
Yeah. Those movies, those last 3 movies just didn't.
Force Awakens was cool, and then
and I didn't have a problem with like 3 movies. I think like most things, when you paint yourself into a certain corner, there's only so many ways you can get out of it. So I think with Force Awakens and then them handed it to Rian Johnson and Rian Johnson taking his approach and then them giving it back to JJ going to help us, like there's only so much that you can do once certain stories are going a certain way. It's like, all right,
if you're not going in with a structure, if you're forming a story and you're forming a trilogy, you at least have to do your setup, your conflict, your resolution.
Right.
If you don't even know where you're supposed to be going and then you just give creative control to somebody on the second movie, then you are rolling the dice.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just going to walk this ledge here and see what happens. Right. If I fall, I fall. If not, hey, that was fun. And yeah, they could have done way better. But I think at this point now, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are going, all right, how can we make those movies better? What can we do with the 30 years in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens? What can we do in that period that can make those movies better? And then I think they're probably going to do something that'll connect to those movies and then do another trilogy after that are connected more to what they're doing now. So we'll see what happens.
I just want a Knights of Ren movie.
I just want Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau just to basically be the new Lucases and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Just make them the heads of Lucasfilm. Done. They've earned it.
Yeah.
They've earned it.
Yeah.
They've really earned it. So they know what the fans want. They know.
And they listen to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so, to the best of their ability, where it's like, yeah, we hear you. We got you. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with these last couple of episodes. And when you see, you'll understand it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure.
Yep.
I'm getting there. I mean, what are they, if we're doing an episode every day, then what is it? When does the new one drop? Fridays?
New one drops on next Wednesday.
Wednesdays. So, if we did, there's 6 episodes, 7 episodes?
We're on episode 6 right now, and then next week's episode 7.
Yeah. By the time episode 7 rolls around, should be pretty caught up if we're doing an episode a day. So,
nice.
Pretty much over the weekend. Yeah, should be good to go. By the time I come back, should be like, oh, hey, we're all caught up. So we'll see.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk Mandalorian next episode. Or Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett. Again, when the show was first mentioned, I had said, like, yeah, not the biggest Boba Fett fan, but this show is going to make me into a Boba Fett fan because it's going to be one of those things where it's like the instant Return of the Jedi, like if you're watching him in some kind of fun order, the instant Return of the Jedi goes off, you can throw on Book of Boba Fett and be like, oh, no, this is what happened right after he fell into that pit. Watch. And it's like, oh, okay. Great.
Yes, but he shows up in Mandalorian Season 2.
True.
I love Mandalorian, so I immediately after Return of the Jedi just put on Mandalorian and keep going. Because it's 5 years after, and then you get that build up to the reason why Boba's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Meh.
So, yeah, not much in the news, but I'll still... Yeah, the news. That was all the news. Black History Month. There you go. Woo. Tweet.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about something that we both really enjoy.
Well, now it's time to go on ahead, get your silverware, put your napkin on your lap or around your neck, old school style, and pull up to the table for a good old helping of meat and potatoes.
That is correct. And don't forget to have yourself a side bottle of Champ Tam's barbecue sauce.
Champ Tam!
Lots of garlic. We are going to be talking about The Harder They Fall.
Diddly whoa, here I come.
That movie was fantastic.
This movie's awesome.
Just so cool.
This movie's awesome. Cool. The Harder They Fall, everyone. We teased it earlier and we said we were going to talk about it and we were excited when we spoke about it. And now that we've seen it a couple times, each of us, it's as good as we tried to advertise it, I think.
I was watching it again this morning.
There you go.
So cool. So cool. I've been listening to the soundtrack. There's not one point in this movie where I went, well, they could have done without that. Not once. I enjoyed all of it. It's been a long time since I could sit and watch a movie and not go, I didn't want to see that. They didn't have to put that in. Really didn't have to force that down my throat. I don't think that the director was sitting there worried about if people were going to be able to keep up by any means. And I enjoyed that because it's been a while since that. But, man, the movie is good. So good. Shall we start with the cast or shall we start with the story? Where should we start, my friend?
I mean, we could start with this. We can just go through the movie, throw out the cast as we go along, if you'd like. Or
we can do that. It's up to you.
Yeah. Let's get into the film, and as we go along, we'll say who's all showing up and whatnot.
Right. Beginning of the movie was that's an opener.
I tell you what, man. My mother tried to. I mentioned that I was going to be watching it with her at one point, and
right.
So she called herself. Like I was over there, and she was kind of on the phone finishing up a conversation, and she was like, "Oh, no, you can go ahead and start it." And I was like, "You sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." I'm like, "Okay." So I started the movie, and right when it starts to go to shit, she's like on the phone, and like I was sitting there, I watch her, and her mouth just kind of like drops open, and she's like, "Okay, well, I had to go." The opening of this movie is pretty brutal. You find out right away that Rufus Buck is not playing.
No.
Yeah. We open up on a nice little It's like a house. It's like a preacher and having dinner with his wife and his kid, and there's a visitor, or who could that be at this hour? Oh, I'm gonna go find out. Open the door, and it's somebody who the preacher obviously knows and maybe is a little terrified of. He kind of just walks in, puts these wonderful gold guns on the table, and just proceeds to kind of sit and hang and
absolutely terrorize and terrify the entire family.
Preacher saying, "Hey, your quarrels with me, leave my family out of it." Proceeds to point a gun, one gun at the kid, one gun at the wife. It's just building all this crazy tension, and then both the guns turn on the wife, and the movie gets real.
Yeah, big time.
Blows the wife away.
Yeah, no, that scene right there. I mean, when it starts with that, immediately. It's like, okay, well,
we're here.
They showed her fly back and everything.
We're here. Yeah. You get the feeling that he's about to shoot the kid, and then the preacher's like, no, and then he gets shot.
Right.
And the kid's left there with some dude holding him down in the chair with a scorpion tattoo on his hand, and the dude puts the guns down, pulls out this razor, and the kid's sitting there screaming, "No, please, and don't," and gets what appears to be like, something cut into his head, And that is the opening scene of this film. So right away, you understand this is not going to be cute or fun.
No.
If you know this is going to be a revenge story, right off bat, you're like, oh, well, yeah. Obviously, the kid gets revenge because, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
We're not here to play.
Yep. And then we just all of a sudden go to some years later.
20 years later.
Is it 20 years later?
20 years later.
It says 20 years. Well, then it is 20 years later. And yeah, this guy's not fucking around. You see a priest walk into a church, and he's talking about how he's there for his confession and for his money. And if he doesn't get his money, he's going to get upset. And I just love the characters. Just like, why a scorpion?
Why a man?
Yeah.
Tattoo scorpion on his hand.
Right.
Snake, I understand. Scorpion. Huh.
The whole talk. But then when he's like, it's like, I don't know you. Man, and whatever it was, it must have been a long time ago. And when he takes the hat off and you just see the entire, just like his face just turned white and just like that terror.
No. Yeah. Please. Don't.
I love that. Just like the way he's also smiling when he's saying all that. He's like he's repeating it like please. As if he's saying,
please.
Yeah. Like, this is what you have to say.
Right.
This is it.
Oh, yeah. Or now those words mean something to you.
Right.
Because when I was saying those words, it was business as usual. But
right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Please don't.
Right.
Yeah. We get the opening title scene with each shot, like the harder they fall. And that the third to fourth shot is great because the third shot he shoots him in the air, the fourth shot he shoots him while he's still in the air and drops him down. Like that's ooh, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Man. So great.
I like how he was saying, you go ahead and turn this guy in. It's worth $5,000.
Why aren't you taking him in yourself? I'm worth 10.
Right.
Like, yes, we're here. We are here.
You're establishing his character, meaning like not just like who the character is, but the way he's going to act, the way he's going to. They're setting up who he is in just this one shot. I have the hiccups, and it sets it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely perfectly. You know exactly who you're dealing with and what kind of a movie it's going to be. Not only from the opening shot itself, but from that scene itself as well. So, yeah, I was sold with this movie. And then once it goes into the credits, the opening credits, it's so cool. So cool. Just, you're setting up the each gang.
Yes.
I guess that's probably a good time to go into the cast.
Sure. They get you set up by gangs here. So if I'm not mistaken, I think they show Nat Love's gang first, or is it Rufus Buck's gangs first? So Nat Love's gang is first. Nat Love is being played by good old Jonathan Majors.
Yes.
Who we saw Jonathan Major last as the brother at the end of the multiverse.
Yes. He who remains in Loki.
Yes.
Who will also be returning as Kang the Conqueror.
So and then we have they introduce us to, well, they don't introduce us to, we know who she is. Zazie Beetz is playing Stagecoach Mary.
Yeah.
It's good old Stagecoach Mary. Then they show us R.J. I don't know if this is in order, but R.J. Cyler. I hope I'm saying his name right. R.J. Cyler is Jim Beckworth, Mr. Lightning with the Blam Blams himself.
Oh, yeah. No, he's great.
We'll get into that.
Yes.
Then we have Edi Kathiji as Bill Pickett. I last remember him as Dr. Yahweh from House. That was the last time I saw, well, it's probably not the last time I saw him, but that's what I remember him last from. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that gentleman. And then Danielle Deadwyler as Cuffy.
They call me Cuffy.
And we will get to know her. That pretty much consists of the gang. I mean, we do have Delroy Lindo as Bass Reeves, but he's not technically part of the gang, but
right,
he does kind of help out.
Oh, here comes a helicopter.
There we go.
Chopper hour. Flying over the I-5.
Yeah, we're gonna. What's the traffic we go to? What's the traffic looking like up there?
Over here. Got a bit of an accident on the 5 freeway. 72 degrees out. Back to you.
Oh, well, sounds like everything's sunny side up.
We're going down. Everything's terrible. We're going to die.
We're fine now. Everything's fine now. We're fine now. How are you?
Yes.
Yes, so that is pretty much the Nat Love gang. Then we go on ahead and flip to the Rufus Buck gang, led by Rufus Buck himself, played by Idris Elba.
Yes.
We have Trudy Smith being played by Regina King.
Yes.
Cherokee Bill being played by Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah.
And then we have the character Wiley Esco being played by Dion Cole. Not a member of the Rufus Buck gang. Well, it's complicated. We'll get into that. It's complicated.
Oh, is he a part of the Crimson Hood gang?
No, he's the dude they left in charge in Redwood City. The dude with the grill, all the gold teeth. Yeah,
Curly.
Yeah,
or not Curly. What they say his name is?
Wiley Esco.
Wiley.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
Curly. All of a sudden, I'm over here in City Slickers.
Yeah. So that's pretty much your cast. I will say also, it should be worth mentioning that, what's the gentleman's name? Julio Cesar Cedillo played Cortez. Cortez is the gentleman who had the tattoo.
Scorpion tattoo.
The scorpion on his hand. So,
yes.
Yeah. But he dies.
He does.
So,
he does.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the whole movie, pretty much.
So then we get introduced to, we get our first shot of Edi Kathiji, or Kathiji. I don't know which one it is. I apologize. But we get to see Bill Pickett singing a song to himself, kind of posted up somewhere. We see these gentlemen riding. Looks like they just robbed a bank. There's money flying everywhere. And
they all have the same colored hoods on.
They all have the same colored hoods on. And then we get to see old Bill Pickett kind of singing a song to himself, and then pulls out this sniper rifle, or this, well, not really, it's just a long range rifle, and goes to work.
Sure does.
Shoots one of them, and they have to scatter.
They all scatter, but they also show you again how much this movie's not going to sugarcoat anything for you. This guy gets off his horse and just shoots his horse in the head. So I'm sorry, folks, if you're not wanting to see any animals get hurt in this movie, you see it within like the first 15 minutes.
Hops off the horse, shoots it in the head, and uses it for cover.
And you get shots in the horse, and it's like, oh my God. Well,
and they show it. Yeah.
Woo.
They don't hide it. Yeah.
Like, let's
that
make
horse
this
gets
movie
shot
as realistic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So just warning you folks, it ain't pretty.
Like, if you thought a horse getting punched in Blazing Saddles was offensive, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Mongo.
You can't park that animal there.
Funny. Funny.
So yeah, we one of the gentlemen takes the hoods off, and it's a member of the Nat Love gang. There's only one of them though. Just hang tight, be patient. And that gentleman is we find out later his name is Monroe Grimes, but he is being played by a young actor named Damon Wayans Jr.
Really?
That is Damon Wayans Jr. He was also in Other Guys. He's been in a couple things, but yeah, son of the legendary Damon Wayans.
No shit.
Yeah.
There it is. That's cool. It's
very cool. He's a funny. He's. I feel like if you're Damon Wayans' son, you can't, like, how can you not be funny? Like, and you're in that family surrounded by all that, like
I'm sure you can pick it up. Yeah.
It's in your DNA. Like, it's, yeah. You'd have to just not want to act or be famous to not be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you just have to turn the life down. Like, no, I don't want to do it.
Right.
I don't want to do it. Yeah. But while they're sitting there, and he says something like, be patient.
Be patient, yeah.
And we get to hear, I always heard patience was a virtue. I just ain't never waited around long enough to see if the motherfucker true or not.
Right. And you get one of the coolest characters introduced in
Jim Beckworth.
Dude. The actor is so good at it.
Y'all the same Crimson Hood gang? Them hoods look pink.
Right. But I remember when they all look pretty much the same color, and them motherfuckers pink now.
Yeah, them motherfuckers pink now. I see my mom always, I want you to leave Jim a boy. Jim's a sweet ass boy. Jim is not sweet. I am sweet. You're not sweet. Bitch, I am sweet.
Oh, man. Leave Jim alone, Mom. Jim's sweet. It's like, you know what I say? Fuck Jim. Look what Jim did to my fucking eye. Yeah.
Bitch, I am sweet. Love that shit.
Yeah. Look on his face.
And they try to make a move on him, but Jim Beckworth's not the one to make a move on.
Yeah. And then, nope, doesn't work.
Jim Beckworth's not the dude to make a move on. He lets it know him very early.
He shoots the first guy with his left. He shoots Damon Wayans Jr. with the left shot, and then he uses his fucking right to then whip around his back and shoot the guy that's on his right with his right on, like, with it, from his left side. Too cool of a shot.
It's one of the best introductions to a character you'll see in cinema. Really.
Yes.
It's just, you instantly, you're like, oh, this dude's a star. This is great. Take that young, arrogant, quick gunfighter, and then just drip him with, like, all the swag you can. And it just,
yes.
this dude, like, if you thought cats were cocky, and if you thought young Leonardo DiCaprio was walking through The Quick and the Dead thinking he was a shit, you ain't seen nothing till you see Jim Beckworth walk around.
Yeah.
And it only gets better.
The gold amongst the gun, it just pops right out. Everything about it. And he's got that line, it's like, face it, I'm lightning with the blam blam. And
he comes up, why you got to turn everything into a gunfight? Because I'm lightning with the blam blam. Yeah. well, I hear they say somebody out there named Cherokee Bill, and he's supposed to be the fastest out there. Cherokee Bill.
Right.
You hear say, but you don't see say. So I say, fuck Cherokee Bill. Yes. And instantly you're like, oh, here, that's a showdown that before the movie's over, you instantly want to see. Already, you want that to be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So right when he was like, fuck Cherokee Bill, I was like, so at some point before this movie's over, there's going to be a standoff between Cherokee Bill and Jim Beckworth. Like,
yes.
It has to happen. It has to happen. So
it's foreshadowing.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And so
what you need to be saying is, bow, thank you. Because your boy tries to make a move, and again, Jim Beckworth's not the dude to make a move on.
Yeah.
Love it.
So they find out that they didn't just rob from a gang that robbed from a bank. they
think
robbed.
This money is from a bank,
Right? Yeah, supposedly half of that is supposed to go to somebody that is quite worse than having just robbed from a bank.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we find out that soon, too.
Very soon. So Nat Love rides into the town to go to a local saloon, a place called Stagecoach Mary's. And at the front door, we are introduced to Cuffy. There's a young
man.
I knew it was a young lady right off bat. So I feel weird to say like spoilers because like right off bat. I mean, and this is coming from the person who, towards the end of Eternals, I was like, oh, that's a girl. So yeah, right. But right off bat, she was like, oh, let me get you. And I was like, oh yeah, that's clearly a young lady. Mm-hmm. But that's a joke for later. For later.
True.
So you get to meet Cuffy, who it's like, oh, she takes all the guns, no guns allowed in the place, and she's there because she's good at what she does, and it's like some people like to try to test me, and you can't test Cuffy.
She's the door guy.
Yeah, she's the door guy, and if you don't like it, she gonna beat you up, and she's gonna send you to Doc Brown's, which I thought was awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Send him over to Doc Brown's. I was like, Doc Brown's, what? I don't know if that was intentional, but I loved it.
Right.
Yeah. Little Back to the Future 3 action and shit. Send him to Doc Brown's and shit. So, and then we get a song, and we get to see Zazie.
Love that song. It was cool. I have to say, this movie, in many parts, seemed like it can either be a music video, the start of a music video, the end of a music video, or it could break into a musical at any moment.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the writer-director is a musician, and this was also produced by Jay-Z.
The writer and director also produced it, and he also did the soundtrack.
There you go. It kind of is a music video.
It is, for this guy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it had that feel. Made me want to have MTV again. Old school MTV, where you had your music videos were little mini movies at the beginning and end of it. I miss those.
Thriller, man.
Oh, yeah. Thriller. Definitely.
Amazing. Loved it. Anyway.
So we go and we get introduced to Zazie Beetz playing Stagecoach Mary.
Stagecoach Mary.
And she is somebody who is not to be fucked with.
Really awesome moment where she lays a good kiss on him. It's like, that's to remind you of what it was.
Right.
And fucking nails him. He stands up and then falls back down. That's to remind you what it is.
Right. Yeah, I like how he stumbles back and kind of just, falls back into people and then just kind of like stands up and just kind of puts his chin back up in her face like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Wait. Whoa.
Nope. Whoa. Back down and
slams right onto the ground.
Takes a drag.
Yeah, takes a drag of what he's smoking.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna stay here. That's to remind you what it is. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Cuffy's like, oh, just get him cleaned up. So she gets to go upstairs and he gets to go upstairs and you find out, they don't really hide it. Looks like her and Nat used to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's trying to tell her that they couldn't be a thing because he's been out in his revenge business, but he's here to convince her that those days are done and that the only thing he's worried about is being with her.
Yep.
Because she's like, you got everybody but Rufus. And he's like, oh, but Rufus is in Yuma, and, for the rest of his life. I don't have to worry about it. She, not really trying to hear it at first, but he's able to woo her, and they start to try to get it in, and Bill Pickett interrupts them getting it in, and
yep.
You had the worst time in ever. You had the worst time in the history of time.
Right.
Oh, y'all was about to make with the sex. I'm sorry.
I apologize, but there's something you want to hear.
You might want to come hear what this young man has to say. Turns out they have Mr. Grimes, and he's saying that the money that they stole was because Rufus Buck is going to be not going to Yuma.
No.
He's basically going to be getting out, and that's what the money is for him.
Or half the money was for him, but
half the money's for him, and Nat Love not really trying to hear it because he's like, can't be, and then turns out it can be, and there's a really cool moment where he does the whole exhale,
right?
And it looks like he's going to shoot him in the stomach, and he shoots the things off, and they let him go.
Yes. And
he storms upstairs, and they're like, man, maybe we should have killed him. It's like, well, if what they say is true, then he's in for a whole lot worse than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And that's when we get to see the whole train breakout scene.
Because the next shot, I believe the very next shot is we get to see a nice gang all riding together. Yeah, it's look, you get to see Regina King and a couple of the people, and it looks like they're about to go on ahead and stop or rob this train.
Right. It's basically what we see at the beginning of the trailer for the Harder They Fall, which, you know, we have the nincompoop moment.
What are you doing? You can't just block this train, you stupid. Bow. He might have said nincompoop.
Yeah.
We ain't no nincompoop. Yeah. They even say a word that start with the letter N.
Right. And as she's saying that line, she's passing by the train. And as she's about to tell them all to take off their masks and show their faces, on the side of the train, it says C.A. Boseman. Mm-hmm. And that was a lovely tribute to Chadwick Aaron Boseman.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Dope.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be in that film.
I think so.
Yeah. I think he's supposed to be in that film.
You told me somebody else was supposed to be in that film too, but you were going to wait to tell me.
Yeah, there was it was apparently Wesley Snipes and Sterling K. Brown.
Oh,
but because of like delays in the pandemic, yeah, that scheduled they couldn't do it. So Wesley Snipes would have been great in that movie.
Wow, who was he going to play?
Who does Wesley Snipes play in this movie?
I mean,
let's say maybe Bass Reeves. Maybe he had to walk around a little old and possibly Bass Reeves, but
Cherokee Bill.
Nah. Well, maybe that'd have been interesting. Yeah, maybe. But Lakeith Stanfield does such a good job, man. Oh my Lord. Another just great introduction. Now, my name is Cherokee Bill. Now, I am not a violent man. That being said, you are in the midst of extremely violent people. Right. Get off the train. You must be the hero. Oh, great spirit. Why is there always one? Who knows? You might win. Nah. Turns out, Cherokee Bill, Justin, another dude, you don't really just make a move on.
Right.
Man, it is slick.
Though they do also show him as somebody who is like, all right, let's make this fair. And he's like, let's do this fisticuffs. And
he even switches his stance. Sorry.
Right. And then all of a sudden just reaches back because Regina King then hands him a knife and fucking he cuts like the Achilles tendon. And
does he get both his Achilles tendons in the back of his knees and shit?
It's just like leg after leg. It's like both like back and forth.
Demobilizes the dude.
We're pinballing or just what's the damn game? The Forrest Gump plays it.
Ping pong.
Ping pong. Thank you. Ping ponging from leg to leg with the knife, and just. And the guy just falls to the ground, just absolutely screaming. Because, as anyone would, it's not something that seems very pleasant.
And then just hands the knife back to Regina King. Like, it's just a practiced, choreographed, like, it's
something they've done before.
You instantly know that, like, yeah, these people are not to be fucked with. Like, this is a thing. Like, this, they're here. Yeah. And so, they proceed to walk through the train. You know, Cherokee Bill, Lakeith Stanfield is very good at being charmingly intimidating. Is the best I can come up with, where he's, he doesn't look like a scary dude, but then he'll just give that person kind of like that kind of half dead stare and just like, do what I say or we're going to kill everybody on this train.
Right.
Like, and you're just like, oh shit.
Right.
So you find out that they're there because it looks like they want to get to a room, the full of cops, that has a big safe in it.
Yes. And in said safe, well, they're not keeping something safe rather than keeping themselves safe.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Turns out Rufus Buck is inside. But here's the thing. They're not necessarily there to break him out. Because turns out he's been pardoned, Justin.
He sure has. used him and as an excuse to lure everybody onto the train that are guarding him, so that way they can take them out. So, a nice little switch. You think that it's going to be this whole, breakout moment. Well, it's not a breakout moment. Nope. Your crew of men have burned down villages and killed women and children just for silver. You've fucked up to the point where your own government wants you dead.
That's some unscrupulous shit.
Right. So, right when he's walking out, that's like, all right, well, you're all dead now. So they have that shot that you see in the trailer.
Man, I just want to, who here can drive a train?
Right.
No one can drive a train. He looking, I said, who here? Little young kid holds his hands up. He just, everybody but him.
Everybody but him. And then he just starts shooting.
Yep. And it's not even fair. Like,
no.
Man, I liked it. Did you see that little thing they did to the screen when he steps out and he takes his breath? They kind of did like this. It reminded me of when Neo takes his breath when he discovered, and you see like down the hallway, it's like this boo, like this flare. It's real subtle. It's a real subtle thing. Yeah, go check it. I know I wasn't tripping. Go check it out again when you have a chance.
Okay.
Like when he steps out of the safe, he does a real big, inhale and exhale, and the screen around him kind of like zooms in and then zooms out real briefly. Like it's cool. It's a cool little trick they put on there. I thought it was neat.
Nice. Check that out.
Yeah, so Rufus Buck is out.
Then we go back to Stagecoach Mary's saloon, and we then get introduced to Delroy Lindo's character,
U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves.
And boy, is it good to see Delroy Lindo back in stuff again. I mean, he was back in the what was it? It was the last one that was Spike Lee that was just on Netflix with Chadwick. Why am I blanking on
The Five Bloods.
Five Bloods, thank you.
Yeah.
And now he's in this. So it's good to see him again, How would you like it if I had Cesar and Ramon staple your tongue to your chin? No, I would not like that. It's good to see him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a cool scene where you get to see his character, who is basically Delroy Lindo playing a U.S. Marshal. Because, the reason you hire him is for him.
Right. You know what kind of performance you're going to get.
Yes.
Every time.
110%. It's like...
but you love it.
You if you're hiring him, you've probably written the scene and the character for him. If not, then he's just come in and just started reading, and you're like, yeah, you're perfect. This is great. Thank you. So, yeah, when it comes to him, there's no really way of describing him other than if you've seen him in any of his other movies and you enjoy his work, then you are going to enjoy all of this. So he comes in and sits down and basically says, I'm taking you in, Nat, because you've done wrong, and that's the way it is. This is my job. Cool scene.
Yes. Cool
scene. But then he then ends up getting arrested and taken in, and, well, that's that.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, while that's has happened and all that, Rufus Buck and the gang have ridden back to their old spot in Redwood City that they left one of their old cats, Wiley Esco, in charge. And turns out, Wiley has been kind of making some money on the side and kind of not really been taking care of the town, and
intends on selling the damn town.
Yeah, intends on selling the town, and he comes back, he's like, hey, so what's up with the money? Well, so here's the thing. There's no money.
And I'm leaving.
Nat Love Gang took it. And, they have it. And so now he's like, okay, well, here's the thing. I need everybody that wants to, he's like, I built this town for y'all. And if y'all want to keep it rolling, I'm going to need y'all to give me like 15,000. Like, I need y'all to help me out, man.
Yep.
And if not, then I'm gonna kill whoever doesn't want to chip in, and I'll burn this motherfucker down.
Pretty much.
Because Rufus Buck is not to be played with. I think he even kills a dude.
He does.
He's like, I'm not doing that. He's like, oh, you're not doing that. And then he fucking pistol whips the fuck out of Esco.
Yeah,
he's like, you're not welcome here. You got to raise up out of here, and fucking pistol whips him right in this expensive grill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Knocking out teeth. And he's like, hey, kid, get over here. Get your gold.
Get that gold.
Tell your mama, you guys are rich now.
Rufus Buck, not a nice man.
No. When he was,
we do have that real funny.
He did the orange trick. The orange trick?
It's still there.
Right? And he takes the head off. He's like, oh, no, it's still there. It's still there. So they walk off screen. And if you watch him, he's still peeling the orange, watching the kids. And then he throws the orange peel at the kids. He's just like looking at them like going, fuck little shits. Anyways, keep going. You could tell that it's like, hey, look, ain't I cool with kids? Ain't I cool with kids? I fucking hate you kids.
Hey, one thing we missed too, bruh, because I don't want to spend too much time on things, but I loved your man. Just look here, that's my town. This Wiley Esco town. I'm a savage motherfucker too.
Right, when he's eating the steak.
You better raise up out of here before I finish my steak. Yeah. Hey, Rufus Buck down here. He want to talk to you. Right. Ain't nobody got nothing to say to him.
Right. Just like he's talking all this shit. All right, now you can talk to him. No, I'm good.
Yeah, ain't nobody got nothing to say to him.
I'm eating steak. The steak is hot right now. I want it while it's still hot. I can't let this steak get cold.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I'm a savage motherfucker too. Right. You wouldn't snap my fingers, you disappeared.
It's all focused on that shot. Is all on him entirely until you hear the knock on the door, and it just interrupts him. Like, oh wait,
right. Rufus Buck's outside. Want to talk to you?
Well, I ain't got nothing.
Nobody got nothing to say to him.
Fucking love it. Fucking love it.
Oh, that was so funny. Damn, that was funny. Yep. Deion Cole is hilarious. That was he did that so well.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Oh man. So
they demand money and
they demand the money, and because it's like, we'll protect you and this is our spot, and this dude here is wants to sell it, and basically kind of gives him like a gentrification talk, like he gonna sell it to the highest bidder and change all this shit, and we're trying to keep this for us, but I need money to do it. So
right. So we need all your money to do it, or else we don't get to keep this town.
Mm-hmm. Or we're gonna kill y'all and burn it down.
Right.
Because I'd rather burn it down than sell it to the highest bidder.
Yep. Yeah. So then, I believe when it comes to introduction of characters, we have introduced all the characters. You got the gangs.
Mm-hmm.
You have the marshal.
You know all the players. At this point, you know all the players.
Yeah.
After Nat Love gets arrested, you turn out that was all a ploy.
Yes.
Because Bass Reeves was like, hey, so Rufus Buck is back in town. He's in Redwood City, stirring up shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you, to help me stop him.
Right.
Pretty much. And the gang followed him because they didn't fall for the ruse. Stagecoach Mary goes to Cuffy and the boys and is like, hey, the Nat's up to some shit. Let's go and follow him, and because I don't believe this shit. And so the plan is to basically go to Redwood City and try to stop Rufus Buck.
Just pretty much go and kill him.
Yeah, go shut him down.
Yep.
And then as they're there, kind of night before, Stagecoach Mary's like, hey, so I have this idea. I'm going to try to go get some information. I'm going to go walk into town and act like I want to buy, because Trudy Smith also owns a saloon in Redwood. And she's like, hey, I'm going to go to Trudy Smith and I'm going to tell her like, yo, I want to expand and I'm going to get some information. And that's like, what's that line? What does he say to her? What in my entire character makes you think I'm going to let that happen? There's something like that. Like, basically like, nah, I'm not going to let that happen. And I'll be fine. I'm just going to do it overnight. And then he tries to propose to her and she like, no, I'm doing this, and then when this is done, I'm gone.
Right. Two other moments that I loved in this, like I said, when it comes to the soundtrack. I love that there's a couple of moments in this movie where the main character is either whistling or humming the soundtrack that is playing, and they incorporated that into the scene when he was in the stagecoach, when he was in the back of the prison wagon. He was whistling the music that was playing, and then they kind of ended off with him whistling it, and then the door.
When he first rides into town and the song is playing, and then when he gets up to the saloon, whoever's playing the piano is playing the song that was just playing in the saloon.
And also when he starts singing when he's walking up to Stagecoach Mary, when she's on the at the cliff and everything, looking over the town, and that's when he does the whole proposal. He's, this whole movie has this, like I said, it's either, moments of music video and or moments of straight going about to just break out into a musical.
Yeah.
Because she could have just turned around and started singing too, and then all of a sudden it's just this, Disney freaking moment, this stage show moment of, the two of them singing at the edge of a cliff. So even though they weren't, it seemed like they were still singing to each other. It seemed like a musical. Anyways, I stopped.
I can dig it.
I digress.
No, I can dig it.
I said I digress. Anyways, yes. So she ends up kind of not accepting the proposal, but at the same time said, I'm not going anywhere. So don't worry about it.
Well, she tells him, she goes, I'm here till we settle this. And then when we settle this, we go our separate ways.
Right.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm not trying to hear all that. Like, I'm not, nah.
But
so
she does say, but right
him,
now I'm here. So
yeah, but right now I'm there until this is done. No, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm here until this is over. And then when this is all over, we're out of here. I'm good. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, she goes into town, tries to do her thing. Long story short,
doesn't work.
Does not work at all.
No,
they see through that coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take her hostage.
Yep.
And proceed to beat the shit out of her.
Yep. The sun comes up and she's not around, and Trudy Smith gets to tell this really interesting story about her kind of, you get kind of in her, I'm not going to bog the podcast down with the story that she tells.
No,
but
leave that basically one for them. It's a good scene, good monologue.
You get a sense of how her mind works because what she's experienced. It's a really good Regina King moment.
Yeah, it's a really good Regina King monologue. Because fuck, she's so good. Watching her, in my opinion, I think the first thing I remember seeing her in was Higher Learning.
I remember all the way back to she was in Boys in the Hood.
Right.
Yeah, she's been around a long time, and just, as just you can see her just getting better and better and better throughout her career. Mm-hmm. The more she acts, the more you do it, the better you become. And she's very much up there now. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, good monologue, and the sun comes up, and Nat Love's like, all right, well, sun's up, she's not back.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Let's
go get her.
Down up.
And that right there, he's humming the music that's being played for the soundtrack at that moment.
Okay, Mary.
So I love that. I love that.
Okay, Mary.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
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 Great moment. Great. Well done. Well done movie. So yeah, he goes in with the gang and says basically, like, we're here and this is the way it's going to be. We're coming for our girl. And what the fuck? I think I'm getting that right.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's how they found out about Redwood. It's because fucking Wiley came and told them. But anyway, that's anyway. So Wiley basically is working with them because blah, 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 blah. But yeah, Buck comes into town, and
we're going to leave a lot of this movie for you guys as well. Just letting you guys know.
Buck comes into town, and he's like, we're going to take you captive too. And they kind of beat him up. And so finally Rufus is talking to him. He's like, okay, so here's the thing. I need the money that you stole from me. Plus I need an extra 10,000 on top of interest.
Oh, when they took Nat in.
Yep.
And they let everybody else go, but Nat gets taken, and then
in order to save her life, it's like, yeah, he's like, take me.
Right.
He's like, okay, we'll take you then. Yeah. And so he's like, I need y'all to go. Get my money and plus another 10,000. How are we supposed to do that? Go rob a bank for it?
Right.
What do you think? They go rob a bank in a white town, Justin.
It is a white town. I like how it's like, we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to have to go rob a white town. Yeah.
Now, when we say white town, everyone,
dude, everything is fucking white.
Literally,
everything's white.
It's a white town.
I had this immediately went into a
What was the name of the town? I forgot the name of the fucking town.
I don't know, but I had a very Mel Brooks moment when they went into town and everything was white. I was like, this is like fucking Blazing Saddles. I was not expecting to see everything be white. The horses are white. The wagons are white. Everybody's fucking practically wearing white. The buildings are white. The curtains are white. Everything is fucking white in this town. So So yes, they go in, they rob the bank, and they get out. They get the money.
Maysville.
Maysville. Mayonaiseville?
Maysville.
Mayoville?
Yeah, Maysville is the name of the white town. Yeah. Yeah.
Mayoburg.
Yeah.
Otisburg. Right?
Yeah, from
Otisburg, what? Superman.
Yeah.
Otisburg. It's a little place. Otisburg. Miss Tessmacher, she's got a little place. Otisburg. I'll clean it off. I'm sorry, here I go. I'm just cleaning it off. By the way, Gene Hackman just turned 92 like 3 days ago.
92. Still won't act, huh? Still was like, no, I'm not doing it.
No, he's done.
Damn it.
He's done.
I need one more Hackman performance, man. And he's 92, so he could be a crotchety old dude now, man.
He looks crotchety. It's just, at this point, he just looks like he's probably like, I'm not getting on that. No, I'm not doing it. Yeah,
Clint Eastwood, he is not.
No, he looks good and retired and comfy.
Sure. As he should be, man. Good for him. Whatever. Yeah. Some people know when to walk away. They're just like, I'm good. Like, and then people are like, oh, you should come back. Nah, I'm good.
Right.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah. Happy 92nd to
Happy 92nd.
Mr. Hackman.
Mr. Hackman.
My Lex Luthor.
Is he? Yeah, I'm thinking, is he my favorite Lex Luthor? Probably.
So far on the big screen, yeah. 110%.
Yeah. Because I can't sign up with Facebook Lex Luthor. Like, I can't do it. I can't. It's Jesse Eisenberg, I think is his name. I can't do
right.
it. I can't do it. I've tried to be like, well, maybe if it, and then just every time, great. Okay.
The sounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, are you the Riddler?
Sounds like he's a wind-up toy. It's like a wind-up toy that's like kind of old, so it doesn't go to like do the whole thing it's supposed to. So it's like, no. It's just like, all right, this thing's broken.
Yeah.
Send it back.
And he puts the Jolly Rancher in dude's mouth. It's like, I can't do this, dude. I can't.
Kind of fucking awkward.
What are we doing? And then, who's our other on-screen Lex Luthor? Kevin Spacey, who I was excited about at the time, just because I have to be very careful when I say these things now. I enjoy Kevin Spacey's on-screen performances, because despite the other stuff we know about Kevin Spacey, still just a phenomenal actor.
Yes, it's hard to watch. So it's not hard. It's difficult to watch and not know in my head, hey, this guy did some shit, allegedly.
Yeah.
I can't say that it's 110% true.
Right.
But when other people are saying that it is, multiple sources, I can't say they're lying.
Right.
Other than that, it sucks. I enjoyed a lot of his shit, and now I can't watch it. I just recently found a whole bunch of old VHS tapes. I was excited about it because I'm like, VCR works and a small TV works. I'm like, hey, look at this. It's retro. I found a copy of Bill Cosby himself. Immediately went, hey, I love this. Oh, shit.
Man. Yeah. That was a conversation me and my father recently had when I was, I was talking about, I was like, man, like, because anybody who knows me, I'm one of the biggest Michael Jackson fans in the world. So now in 2022, you can't talk about Mike without talking about fucking Surviving Neverland or whatever the fuck. And it's like, yeah, great. Sucks. Yeah. And I was talking about him. I was talking about R. Kelly. And he was just like, yeah, for me, it's Bill Cosby. And, there's this doc. Now Bill Cosby's getting a doc where it's like a lot of the women are going to come forward and be like, yeah, Surviving Bill Cosby. So it's going to get even worse because it's going to be like, oh, God. And this is, and it's perfect to bring up Black History Month. When you're talking about he was a leading man on television, like the Cosby Show was a big deal.
Right.
He was a doctor and all that. And then even now with this new doc, they're like, oh, just look at some of the things inside the Cosby Show. He threw in little hints there, this, that, and the third. And it's like,
yeah.
God damn it.
Like he could have been anything, like that whole thing. I remember seeing that he could have been anything other than a gynecologist.
Right. And I didn't know that's what he was growing up.
Or OBGYN, it's whatever it was. It's just,
yeah, I just thought he was a Dr. Huxtable. That's all I thought it was. And then, it wasn't until years later. It's like, oh, right. Damn it.
No, it's okay.
Damn it.
Yeah. So,
but Bill Cosby himself, one of the best stand-ups of all time, though.
Right.
It's just so funny.
Right.
I mean, and I went downstairs to make the kids breakfast, and they said, we want chocolate cake. And I was supposed to give them but I gave them the chocolate cake, and I gave it to them. I sliced it up, sliced it up, and the morning music was playing, and the kids were singing praises to me. Dad is great. Gave us the chocolate cake. And then my wife comes down. What are you doing? And these children who were singing praises to me lied on me. Dad gave us the chocolate cake. We didn't want it. But he made us eat it. Fuck. Just these children lied on me. And the whole thing with doing the Le Mans classes, the push.
Oh, no. See, that's the thing. It's just so hard. It's fucking hilarious. And I grew up with that whole freaking stand-up. And
it's great because he sits down half the time.
Yeah.
Not even standing. It's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But don't roofie women, everybody. Don't roofie anyone.
That should be like a gold standard. Just
get consent. Don't roofie anyone. And
do not take advantage of fucking anyone.
Yeah, don't do it. Please. It's not good. Please don't do it.
Yep. We have gone way off track from Harder They Fall, by the way. I'm just saying we should get back to it.
They rob the bank, and we have a great moment where the gang is out and they're talking. They're like, yeah, well, we all can't go into the town. They're going to be recognized. Like, yeah, everybody will be recognized. They won't recognize her. They give Cuffy, who's usually a more tomboyish, maybe like male-orientated, maybe dressed,
Up until this point, you're supposed to believe everyone else around.
You're questioning. There's a lot of people that might question, is this a boy? Is this a girl? It's hard to tell.
All the characters believe that Cuffy is a male, a young man, still has not gone through his puberty yet.
Sure.
Yeah, nope, not the case.
Turns out young Jim Beckworth was questioning. We get this great moment where she takes her pants off. Woo! Close shave. I thought it was fall for a boy. It wasn't just me, right? It wasn't just me. It was just you, Jim.
Right. That was too fucking good. And then he gives that look of like, oh shit.
Well, damn.
Like, if he would have cleared his throat, it would have been perfect for the scene as well.
Well, yes, well. Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, they rob the town and it's all good. They don't kill anyone and it's great. So they have all the money to pay Rufus Buck, but they come to this decision like, even if we give him all this money, like
he's going to kill us.
They're probably still going to kill us and Mary and just because we're a problem. So they're like, all right, well, let's set up like a decoy and we'll get some dynamite and we'll, do this whole thing. And so they ride back into to Redwood.
Yeah.
And,
you get your basic end of a Western style ending where you're going to have a shootout. You're going to have, the person up on top of a building being the lookout and the sniper.
All the beats are there.
Yep. You're going to have, and it's like by saying that,
and it's great.
All the beats are there.
It's if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like it's a perfect formula that works, and it works, and they hit all the beats, like everything. You're like, you super want to see, like, yep, this is gonna be good. Yep. Right. They just check all the boxes. It's great.
I'm not one who can say that I used to love watching all the spaghetti westerns, and westerns were my thing all the time. I enjoy a good western.
Right.
I enjoy something that I find to be a good western. Some people might not find those westerns to be good. I like stuff like the Magnificent Seven and Silverado. If you haven't seen Silverado, folks, fantastic western. because again, one of those movies that like you just said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because it just hits all the beats that you need in a good Western.
Yep. And
this movie does that.
Yep. Now, that being said, one thing I will say, and I almost don't want to spoil it, but I know we spoiled a lot, but man, let's just say that I wish that, I'll if you don't want to spoil it, just somebody earmuffs it or something, because I can't really talk about it without spoiling. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Here we go. I really wish they would have just let Cherokee Bill and Jeff Beckworth have a legitimate shootout.
Oh, yeah, no.
Then Cherokee shooting him at like 3. I get the point Cherokee Bill was trying to make, but you just have this real great moment where he's counting down this. Oh, and I do love the attempt earlier where he's just like, "What are you doing? You're not ready for this. Go sit down." When he tries to goad him into a gunfight earlier in the movie, and he's like, "No, we're not doing this." And he's like, "What? Oh, don't take this away from me. Well, you can't." Yeah.
I mean, okay,
but I wish they would have.
Here's the thing, yeah. No.
I wish they'd have just been like have that moment. And I understand it sets up the Cuffy moment later because they have that interaction where it's just like, I'm fast, bro. Right. I've seen faster. Where? In the mirror. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I get that. But man,
well, I have to say, when it comes to Cherokee Bill, it's just got to, like you said, we've spoiled a lot to it really, whatever at this point.
I gave them earmuff countdown. They're fine.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen this movie and you've listened to everything we've already said, then you've gotten a gist of the movie. And if you'd like to know things without...
We're going to spoil the twist at the end, though. So there's going to be major spoilers at the end.
Yeah, I'm going to spoil something right now, too. So if you don't want to know any of this stuff, go ahead and turn it off.
Especially the end.
Pause it. Go and see the movie.
Yeah.
Or we'll go and see. Just go into your living room or bedroom or wherever you are, or turn left and or right and turn the movie on. And, freaking just watch it and enjoy it and understand what we're about to talk about. Because I'm about to say this. When it comes to Cherokee Bill, we are introduced as him being this, guy not to be messed with. But as we go through the movie, we find out that he's kind of a bitch, and he will do whatever he can to get the upper hand to not die. And I get that, but when it comes to this guy who's supposed to be this, like, he's the quick draw and he's all that, he's doing whatever he can to make sure that he doesn't have to be put in the situation where he could possibly be slower and or not as good as the other person.
He definitely got the feel towards the end of a dude that and it's nothing wrong with this, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I will let my name and the legends and stories associated with my name scare people enough to where I probably won't have to do much to get people to do what I want to do, because they'll see me do this one crazy thing. They'll think about all the stories and all the shit I've already done, and then I'll be good. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But I mean, if you think about it, it's like, okay, I'm going to go you and me right now, fisticuffs, you and me, let's see where this goes. You get me off this train, and he makes it look like he's about to fight the guy, and then he basically just, won't say stabs him in the back, basically just, fakes him out and just cuts him up. And then when he goes to the next person, it's like, oh, let's do this right now. You want a quick draw moment? Let's have this quick draw. And the guy's just sitting there like, I don't have time for you, child. I'm going to go have a drink. It's like, bitch. Like, what? And then you get to the next point where it's like, okay, now's our moment. And as the fucker's counting down, and it's like, like adding the suspense and like going, I'm going to savor every moment of this.
The slow shot of where he has a bullet with his name on it.
Yes.
And he loads. That was so dope. That was such a cool moment.
And I'm waiting for this scene, and everybody were waiting for the scene. And if you've seen this, you know what we're talking about.
It is a tension builder.
We're going to watch him. We're going to watch him finally kill this motherfucker. And he gets shot straight in the face.
Yeah.
By this bitch who fucking won't do it. It's like the kid in high school. It's like, I'm going to talk shit. 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 And finally the guy goes, let's fight. And he goes, no, I'm good.
I think it was more about just making, like, even with the knife thing, with the thing that he did, it was more about just making a point because there were people around. Like, he's always trying to send this message. Yeah. You know, even he shoots him even to himself, but still enough to be heard. He's just like, I hate it when they count too slow. Right. You know what I mean? But that's what sparks off the big brouhaha, and we get a lot of great stuff. We get people shooting at people, and we get this big knockout fight between Stagecoach Mary and Trudy Smith.
Mm-hmm. That was a great fight.
They have a hell of a fight.
I loved it. I loved it. It was in a little dying warehouse.
Yeah.
It just, the fact that you got just an arrangement of colors just all around. Yeah. And it's just completely opposite of what you've seen throughout this whole movie. You've got a lot of very gray and brown and Western, tones to it, kind of that darker green and that type of stuff. But then all of a sudden, as they're about to go into this really just knockdown, drag out fight, you just walk into this brightly colored room. You're just like, whoa! Right. Like even some of the dyes, like, when she takes some of the purple powdered dye and just like throws it in her face. And Great fight.
Yeah, no, it was a really good fight. It ends with Zazie Beetz just puts this big fucking hit on her face and just
screams right into the camera. And again, it just like that whole scene felt like a music video to me.
Yeah.
So well.
Yeah. And, we'll basically say that, the gang prevails enough to where they clear the street off enough to where you get we do get an actual showdown with Cherokee Bill and Cuffy.
Yes.
Cuffy not to be fucked with.
Because Cherokee Bill, what did he do? He walked up behind somebody that we all
He kills
enjoy.
Bill Pickett.
Dude, he kills Pickett by walking up and shooting him in the back. Shooting him in the back. Again, does what he can to make sure that he doesn't have to be in a big old fight. Doesn't have to be in
and these are two long deaths. I mean, he stands there and wheezes for a while, and then your boy walks out into the street for a while before he
he deserved it after all that.
No, for sure.
No, you don't get a quick one. I'm not.
And I do like how Cuffy shoots him. She was like, Beckworth was faster. Yeah, like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. So yeah, but they clear the street out enough to where you get the final showdown between Mr. Nat Love and Mr. Rufus Buck. Here's major spoiler events now, everybody. So we've given you all the warnings. So here's the big. Here's the big
spoiler.
Here's the big brouhaha.
Yeah. So if you have not watched this movie and you do not want something that to me was one of those probably Empire Strike Back style moments that if you had not seen and known about these characters and then you hear what is about to be revealed, there's no way that you were going to guess this. Don't have it ruined if you have not seen it. So again, have not seen it, turn this off, go see it, then hear what we're about to talk about.
And Rufus not really looking like he's into wanting to fight or do anything.
No, just kind of sitting there having a drink with his gun at a desk. Just sitting there, just kind of swirling his drink around, waiting for Nat to come in. And when he does, he's basically like, let's do this. Come on, pick up your gun. And boy, does Idris Elba go into a monologue here. And it's a hell of a reveal. He basically starts to tell a story about what his father was like to him.
Mm-hmm.
And what he went through when he was a kid. And what his mother went through when he was a kid. And how his father was just this piece of shit. Absolute piece of shit. Who ended up killing his mom, taking everything that was of value, and then leaving his son with his dead mother to fend for himself. And when I'm hearing all this, I'm like going, bro, this guy had a fucking rough life himself, but he's not a complete piece of shit like you. So when I'm hearing all this, I'm like, whatever with your excuses. But there's more to that story, isn't there?
There's indeed more.
Yeah.
So he's left to fend on his own. He does that. But he never stops looking for his father. Because he owes him. But even when it seemed like all was lost, turns out, oh no, he did find him. He did track him down. Turns out, he's a preacher now.
He is.
Got a nice little house. Has a nice little wife. Has a little son. And it turns out he did, in fact, find his father.
Yep.
And exacted revenge
Yeah.
And left a little boy that he found there with the same scar that Nat Love has on his forehead. Because guess what? They both had the same father. They're half brothers.
This is true.
You are a buck.
Right. Earlier in the film, he's like, do you know why I left that mark on you? When you came to me, I'd know who you were. And that makes more sense the second time around, because when you hear the story and the reveal that he gives at the end, he's like, no, this is why, because I need to be able to tell you this.
Yeah.
I need to be able to give you, your chance now. It's like, so do your thing. Now that you're here, now that you know all of this, take your revenge.
Yeah. And why did I do all this? Because really, the greatest revenge that I could give against my father is the whole life he tried to leave behind. I turned his son into not only an outlaw, but one of the outlaws.
Yes. It's like, what you did to me, I'm going to do to your son. And you're going to die knowing that.
And he's like, and the difference between you and me is, what does he tell him? The difference between you and me is I couldn't kill my brother.
Yeah.
Man. Right. Oh, so good.
Egging him on. Egging him on even till the end.
So good.
It's
now take your revenge. Yeah, he's yelling in his face. He's shooting him to take your revenge. And he does.
Just that line alone by saying, it's like, I couldn't have killed my brother, but you can. It's like, oh, I just want to kill you for saying that.
The difference between me and you is I couldn't kill my brother.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Now take your revenge, buck. Because you're a buck.
Yeah, when he's walking away like, no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, and shut up, I'm not listening to you. And he's just shooting at the floor. It's just like, take your revenge, boom, boom, take your revenge. And
yeah.
Well, he finally does. God, this movie's good. Everything about it, I mean, it's what I want from a Western.
Yep.
You want the tragedy, you want the I wouldn't say soap opera, but just straight, like, I would say operatic style story, how it's just over the top, and, your basic story of good and evil, and or good triumphing over evil. But at the same time, these good characters, these people that you are, I guess, finding out to be the heroes, are kind of the anti-heroes in a way. They're not your average, I'm doing this for good, and good is why I do things. I'm going to protect, let me shine my star here. It's just like these people have gone through some fucking shit, and they're a gang, and they've gone through whatever. It's not your average, you're not dealing with the Lone Ranger here. So it's everything I want from a Western. And yeah, including, in a way, leaving it open for a sequel.
Funny you say, leaving it open for a sequel. It's like, well, what does he mean? Well, just to fucking put a cherry on it, we'll pretty much say that it all ends as you think it's going to end. Nat Love and Mary are going to ride off together. Cuffy hangs out with Bass Reeves. She's going to be a lawman, a law woman,
right.
Law person. Says she always wanted to do that.
She's going to be a deputy.
So, always wanted to be a deputy type law person. So she's cool. And so, everybody's great, going their separate ways, riding off in the sunset. We do this back panning shot, and what do we see? We see somebody holding a hat, dressed kind of like Trudy, watching them go.
Why, that's Trudy.
Because all we saw was Zazie crack her in the head and then yell. We don't see her die.
Nope.
So it looks like Trudy Smith is still out there, and she's going to want her revenge. So,
yeah,
who knows?
She was loyal to Beckett. So
indeed, to Buck.
Buck, excuse me.
Old Buck.
I keep saying Beckett. Buck.
Rufus Buck.
Rufus Buck.
But that is The Harder They Fall. This movie was great.
Yes.
Through and through. This
Absolutely.
movie was just a wonderful, from the soundtrack to the casting, the writing, the action scenes, just everything about this movie is great.
I want to see prequels. I want to see sequels. I want to see more. I want to see more when it comes to everybody. Like, Give me a couple of movies that are the establishing the characters before.
You can see the formation of the Nat Love gang. Yeah, the formation of the Nat Love gang, the formation of the Rufus Buck gang, and have like this, how, Rufus Buck, how he got his gang together, and
you easily got 5 movies right here. Just do it.
Love it. Love it.
So good. And it could be done so well. And I would
indeed.
I will buy every single one of these. Or I'm buying this immediately when it becomes available in physical media. But, I mean, yeah, I would buy all of them, have them on my shelf in a nice little collection. Because, yeah, well done. So, yeah, I would say 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, whatever the hell you would need to say. I love this movie, 110%.
Directed by James Samuel, produced by James Samuel, Sean Carter, Lawrence Bender, James Lasseter. You mentioned all the great people, all the actors and actresses that are in it. On Netflix. It's a great film.
Check it out.
One of the good films of 2021.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope it gets some sort of nomination when it comes to the Academy. Needs to. 100%.
Cool.
All right. Well, that was
we pretty much scraped that plate, and I think that is our show.
That is our show.
Made it.
Good talking to you, my friend.
It was good talking to you. Yeah. As always, everyone, we're on all the things. You can check Buzzsprout.
Yes.
If you go to Buzzsprout, Buzzsprout will give you the list. If you go to we are on Instagram, the Matinee Review. We're on Instagram. The Instagram has the link to the Buzzsprout, so you can check that out that way.
Same with Facebook.
On the Matinee Review.
Give it a follow. Give it a like.
It also has links to the Buzzsprout.
Check out some of the stuff we put up.
The Matinee Review JA on Twitter should also have a link to the Buzzsprout, but if it doesn't, we will change that very soon.
I believe it does.
And we do have an email. So if you want to send us the emails, the emails about suggestions or things that you want us to talk about, do that.
Yes, the Matinee Review at gmail.com.
We're not hard to reach.
No.
We're easy to find.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you for listening.
Very good. Yeah.
Everybody stay safe. Love everybody. And I am Akili.
I am Justin.
We'll see y'all on the next one.
Take care, folks.
Chan-tan!
And done.
And done. Diddly-wo, here I come.